Oh boy, it has happened. The ETH ETFs were just approved. The market's pumping. Let's talk about that. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos like this as soon as I make them. There's also going to be a link underneath the video to Margex where you can trade cryptocurrencies using leverage. Of course, make sure you know what you're doing, but you can set this up in just a few seconds. You can also deposit without KYC. You can trade without KYC. And apologize for the dog barking in the background. Hopefully she stops because maybe she's just excited too. The SEC has officially approved all spot ETFs. Take a look at this. Confirmed. SEC approves listing of spot ETFs. Just in, SEC approves spot ETFs. Ethereum ETF has been approved by SEC. Okay. It looks like all of them are approved. Let's just reload here because this is a historic time, and we'll talk about what this means here in a second. But yes, approval. Mama, we made it. Approval. ETFs approved. Grow the pie. People don't want to believe the approval. Ha ha ha. It's approved. Okay. Let's take a look at the market. So Bitcoin pumping back up. You know, it did fall down to 66.3, moving up to 68.2. I talked about in my last video that I just made that the SEC was possibly pushing this off for a few hours. But it seemed like we were being manipulated down right when the market closed. We saw a dip. And I talked about going long on that. I went long and, you know, we are looking good. You can see down here some of the green, just some of it. I have positions on a lot of different platforms, but these are looking quite green here. We also have ETH pumping up as well. Let's take a look at ETH. Okay, so really faking everyone out here, all the way down to 35 and then back up to 3,900. Now there's some news on ETH too. Some people, some whales that maybe knew this was happening. We'll talk about that. But first of all, keep in mind, this is big because it unlocks future potential too for more ETFs, and it really underscores what's happened over the last really few months, but what's been so obvious in the last few days and the last week or two. The whole political landscape is changing towards crypto. I mean, from FIT21 to the SAB, or I think it was called the SAB 121 or 21, whatever it was, right? The fact that now banks can custody crypto easier, the fact that FIT21 is passed as well, and just everything from the Bitcoin approvals, the ETF approvals, the political landscape has changed. There are large institutions that are getting access to crypto now for the first time, and they're not done. They're going to keep on wanting more and more access to crypto, and it's not going to stop here on Ethereum, in my opinion. I think this will continue. Maybe Solana. We talked about and showed a video clip of someone talking about Solana on national television, right? Talk about a Sol ETF. Even Solana was faked out an hour ago, being down at 165, now coming up to 178, now coming back down, just fluctuating. There's going to be a lot of volume. There's going to be a lot of trading, and just be ready because this is only going to get crazier from here. We're seeing a lot of big money moves. 5 Coinbase institutional transfers to new wallets of $20+ million of ETH in a matter of minutes. Someone bought or moved 30,000 Ethereum over 20 minutes, worth $112 million from Coinbase to self-custody. Maybe this is the person that caused us to go from, 3,000 all the way up to 3,800, 3,900 very recently. Maybe this is the person that sent us up. Maybe they heard rumblings that we were going to get approved and they thought, I should just take this off, be a little bit safer with it. No reason to keep it on Coinbase. I'll just self-custody, right? So big institutions, big whales are making moves. And this is just the beginning, right? This is the beginning of people being able to allocate towards Ethereum. So yes, there's going to be some fluctuations. Maybe Ethereum's at 4,200 by tomorrow. Maybe it's at 3,200. It's impossible to know because when we saw the Bitcoin approval, we saw a pump and then a dump, and then we saw like a 70% tick up after that. So maybe the same thing happens with Ethereum, but the key is this is fundamentally bullish for Ethereum. Now, there might be some selling from ETH some people getting out of the grayscale trade that they've made for the last couple of years. Maybe there's some selling, right? But overall, there should be net inflows into Ethereum. Now, this does take out one future catalyst as well. So hopefully we can actually see some inflows for Ethereum. I think that'll be very bullish. And if not, then some people might be disappointed and look to sell a little bit. Keep that in mind. But overall, this is a very bullish day. This means that there is a future possibility of other cryptocurrencies being approved as well, not just Ethereum, but Solana, meme coins. There's going to be all kinds of ETFs in the future, but there's going to be lots of volatility. As you can see here, going from 68.3 down to 67.2 just now. Now, we're still waiting to see what happens with the ETFs here today. It will be an interesting day to see the flows. We've seen lots of inflows recently. This is from 522 all the way back to 513, but we saw 1,000 Bitcoin, 1,600 Bitcoin, 4,000, 4,000, 3,300, 3,700, 4,500, 2,200. Just a lot of Bitcoin being bought up by these ETFs. So we'll have to continue to keep an eye out to see what the inflows look like for Bitcoin and then Ethereum too. I'm not sure exactly when these ETH ETFs are going to start trading. My guess is in the next few days. Let's just see if there's any other news that we need to cover here. Again, just more approvals, more people excited. Yeah, it's a great day. It's a great day for crypto and for everyone that is invested. Again, just marking a massive political change. Now, let's see what's moving up and what's moving down right now. Ethereum in the last hour has moved up a little bit. Pepe up 14%. Just insane. Pepe has been on a monster run, up 91% in the last 30 days, but now hitting all-time highs. Starknet, Arbitrum, Ondo, Dog with Hat. So a lot of meme coins up significantly, Ethereum-related tokens up. And yeah, again, I think this just kind of marks the beginning, too, of the next phase of institutional adoption. Like we've seen a lot of institutions start to buy the Bitcoin ETFs, but I don't think it's anywhere close to where it's going to be in terms of total amount bought, but then also the number of institutions they're buying. Also, it's going to take a little bit for us to see people buy Ethereum as well. I think it's going to take maybe even longer to get approval from RIAs, from institutions to start buying these as well. So sure, we'll see, hedge funds and bigger money managers that start buying, but it's probably going to be a longer process. The other thing to remember is too, we are much later in the quarter than we were for the Bitcoin ETFs. Like we are 1 month away, 1 month and a week away from the end of the quarter. For the Bitcoin ETFs, we had over double the time. We had 2 months and 3 weeks for people to start investing into Bitcoin ETFs. Here we're only going to have 1 month and 1 week. So I would not be surprised to see a much smaller amount of inflows and total 13F filings for the Ethereum ETFs this quarter compared to what we saw from the Bitcoin ETFs the first quarter of the year. Just keep that in mind. So that's more something to pay attention to for when we start seeing those start to come in. But again, I think a lot of people will want to allocate towards this eventually because it's going to outperform a lot of assets. And eventually there probably will be staking that's allowed. So this is awesome. Total 180 from the SEC. Probably forced by politicians, but it's good to see. Again, if you do want to trade crypto, there is a link underneath the video to Margex where you can trade using leverage. In just a few seconds, you can get started. Thank you so much. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.